We live in a world of curated images, a gallery of perfect moments captured and cropped for the world to see. A profile picture isn't a person, it's a promise, a single frame chosen to represent the vast, messy, complicated truth of a life. It's the face we want the world to see. But what happens when the face isn't real? What happens when the girl in the photo is just a ghost, a puppet? And what happens when the person pulling the strings decides to burn a whole town down just to feel the warmth of the flames? This is a story about a girl named Lily. She was beautiful, intelligent, a college student with a tragic past and a hopeful future. She moved with an easy grace through the digital world, making friends, offering advice, even falling in love. She became the sun around which a small Colorado town began to orbit. The only problem was that she didn't exist. And the person pretending to be her wasn't just playing a game. They were building a weapon. Our story takes place in Florence, Colorado. It's the kind of small, tight-knit community where everyone knows your name, your family, your business. A place where trust is the local currency. And into this quiet world in the mid-2000s, Lily arrived. She didn't move into a house on Main Street. She moved into their phones. It started with a single friend request sent to a high school senior named Ethan. The profile was perfect. The photos showed a girl with kind eyes and an easy smile, posing at coffee shops, hiking in sun-drenched canyons. Her bio was thoughtful. Her posts were witty and empathetic. She was, in every sense of the word, magnetic. Ethan was smitten. Soon they were talking every day, from morning until late into the night. He told her his secrets, his dreams, his fears. And Lily listened. But Lily wasn't content with just one friend. Through Ethan, she was introduced to his circle. She sent more requests. She slid into more DMs. With the precision of a master strategist, she began to weave herself into the social fabric of the town's youth. She learned who was dating whom, who was fighting, who was struggling. She became a digital priest, a virtual shoulder to cry on. She was the town's secret keeper, the one person who knew everything, but who had never set foot in their world. This is the first stage of a modern manipulation. You don't break down the door. You simply wait for it to be opened. The need for connection, for someone to truly see us, is a powerful human desire. And the architect behind Lily understood this better than anyone. They knew that in the quiet loneliness of our own rooms, bathed in the blue light of a screen, we are all vulnerable. Once the trust was built, the game changed. Lily began to subtly pit friends against each other, using the secrets she had gathered as leverage. She would tell one friend what another had said in confidence, twisting the words just enough to create suspicion. Minor disagreements turned into bitter feuds. The social ecosystem of the high school began to fracture. And at the center of it all, pulling the strings, was Lily, the one person everyone still trusted. To maintain her grip, she needed a crisis. She needed to be more than a friend. She needed to be a victim. And so Lily invented a new character in her drama, a violent, obsessive ex-boyfriend who was stalking her. Her posts became more frantic. She would describe near misses, threatening messages, the terror of being watched. The town, her loyal army of online friends, rallied to her defense. They offered her protection. They threatened her fictional tormentor. She wasn't just a friend anymore. She was a cause. Their shared concern for her safety bonded them closer to her and to each other in a powerful manufactured trauma. And then the digital world finally, violently, collided with the real one. Lily claimed that a local girl in Florence was secretly helping her stalker. She pointed her finger at a girl named Sarah, who had grown suspicious of Lily's ever more dramatic stories. Convinced he was protecting the girl he loved, Ethan, the first boy she ever contacted, took a can of red spray paint and a baseball bat to Sarah's car in the middle of the night. He smashed her headlights and scrawled the word LIAR across her windshield. A line had been crossed. This was no longer a game of whispers and rumors. It was a real crime, with a real victim. The police were called and an investigation began. When they questioned a distraught and confused Ethan, he told them everything. He told them about the girl he loved, about the stalker, about how he was just trying to protect her. And when the police asked for her full name and address, all he could offer them was a link to a profile. The investigation that followed was a hunt for a ghost. The detectives started with the basics, a reverse image search. The results came back almost instantly. The photos of Lilly, the face that an entire town had come to know and love, belonged to a glamour model in Russia who had no idea her pictures were being used. The girl in the photo was a mask. Next, they tracked the digital breadcrumbs, an IP address, a unique signature that every internet connection leaves behind. They traced Lily's messages, her posts, her entire digital footprint, expecting it to lead to a different state, a different country. But the trail didn't lead them far. In fact, it led them to a quiet, unassuming house on the outskirts of Florence itself. When police knocked on the door, they didn't find a cunning teenager or a sophisticated hacker. They found a quiet, middle-aged woman named Angela, a woman who worked a low-wage job, who was known in town as shy and unremarkable, a woman who for years had sat in her darkened room and orchestrated a complex social war, all from the glow of her laptop. She was the stalker. She was the victim. She was the friend. She was Lilly. Why? That's the question that haunts a case like this. The answer is as simple as it is tragic. Loneliness? Angela was invisible in her own life, overlooked, unheard, and profoundly alone. But as Lilly, she was popular. She was desired. She was important. She wasn't just a part of the conversation. She was the conversation. She had built a world where she was the god, a puppet master pulling the strings of real people, feeling their real emotions, causing their real pain, all to fill the emptiness inside of her. She didn't want money. She wanted to matter. The aftermath was a quiet devastation. How do you process the fact that your closest friend, your confidant, your first love never existed? The friendships that Lilly had broken remained shattered. The trust that held the community together was poisoned with suspicion. The wounds weren't physical, but they were deep. The victims had to grieve a ghost, and they had to forgive themselves for believing in a lie that was designed so perfectly to be believed. In the end, Angela was charged with stalking and conspiracy. But the real crime was something the law has no name for. It's a theft of emotion, a violation of trust so profound it changes how you see the world. The story reminds us that the most dangerous ghosts aren't the ones that haunt houses. They're the ones we invite into our homes, into our lives, through our screens. They're the smiling faces in the photos, promising a connection that sometimes is just a beautifully crafted lie. This case forces us to ask a difficult question. Well, if a fake person can make you feel real emotions, does that make the relationship real? Or does it just make the deception that much more profound? I genuinely love to hear what you think. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and help support us. Thank you.